I'm headed up to Johnson Ridge. I've got this very treacherous section of dirt road, and this is a very low clearance vehicle, so we're going to see if I can even make it. And then if I get through that part of the journey on this road, I've got to summit 2 mountains where I'll end up at a lake. Then I've got to come back and summit both mountains again. So we're going to see how this thing goes. It just looked really good on paper, and I just decided this morning really early during meditation, I'm just going to do it. We're going to see if we can pull it off. So here we go. Yeah, so the road has gotten pretty bad, actually. But so far, we're still making it. Isn't that gorgeous? That's Tintin. Not too bad. Yeah, that road got pretty funky there towards the end. Here we go. All right, so the first check-in here, it's a little above freezing, and it's 9 miles round trip. The drive up was really decent for the most part, and then towards the end there was a lot of rocks, and then I had some very gnarly, little washouts that I had to navigate, but everything went fine. And so here we are, just getting started. Absolutely epic. So far, it's just been 100% uphill. So it's a great opportunity to warm up quite rapidly as far as body heat goes. So I have a secret, a confession to make. Pretty much every hike that I go on ends up being a trail run. So, oh wow, wild grouse. Mountain grouse, I like to call them. And it's because you get so invigorated out here that it's a spontaneous. I never run unless it's spontaneous. I cycle, I hike, but running should be something that happens because the childlike joy within you is exploding.
The wind is God speaking.
So I wanted to talk about layers. I've got the high-tech underwear on, and then I found these amazing pants, North Face, super comfortable, but I needed some pockets just in case, you know. Super flexible, perfect fit, amazing. And then I go with the good old wife beater, of course. Don't go home without it. Don't leave home without it. And then I've got the hoodie, lightweight, quick dry hoodie. And then on top of that, I've got the, you know, glorified hoodless sweatshirt. And then in that pocket, I've got the black hat that I was wearing. And so once you get out here, it's just uphill. This is usually how I end up, if not completely shirtless. And that allows me to monitor the body temperature from getting excessive. It's perfect right now, but you can always like put your hat on if you need to. And then when you get to the end, I tend to meditate. So you want to put your layers back on, of course. And then once you get back out on the trail, you know, you can, it's just been straight uphill the whole time so far. So this is what I truly love. This is where I truly feel at home. This is very real. When they said the road was very difficult, and it turned out to not be difficult, they also said the road was, you know, 3 out of 10 difficult. You know, they said the hike was difficult. Oh, here's the snow, ladies and gentlemen. I didn't anticipate that. And there isn't not a single step on this snow. So there hasn't been anyone through here in a while. I think I just found out why. This could be very inhibiting when it comes to climbing these mountain peaks that are coming up. Oh boy. Anyhow, well, that's a nice surprise, but it was all uphill until right here. Now it's hit the flat on this snow. And I was just going to say that the trail is in fact difficult. This wouldn't be something that average Joe, you know, I'm very cardiovascularly fit, emotionally and psychologically lately. Okay, so there's several wild animal tracks, many wild animal tracks, no human tracks. We've got a bobcat here, and there was some deer as well. Now we're back in the forest and out of the snow temporarily, so I'm having a great time. And the other thing I might as well mention now, because I need to make some time, I actually have an appointment today, so this was the worst day to do this, just in case, but I'm going to do it anyways. I woke up, I'm just do it, because I'm training. I'll mention 2 things. I'm training for a 22 miler that I'm going to do in a couple days. I'm going to do this today, take a rest day, and then I'm headed over to Hurricane Ridge, 22 miles in one day. Now we're headed downhill, and it's very downhill. So that may have been, yes, that was the peak of the mountain. Now I'm on my way back down. So I'm glad I recorded. I don't know what's happening. So now I do. And so I caught it at the best time. That was the peak of the mountain. So that might be the last of the snow problems, because I'm headed down now through the forest, but it's very steep now. So it was just straight up to the top of the mountain. Now it's straight back down, and it's very steep here. And then, it looks like it's very steep down now, and then I'll drop back down. It looks just all the way just straight down now. Unbelievable. And then I'm going to peak on another mountain, and that's why they said it was very difficult. Now, I agree with them on the difficulty on the hike, but not so much the road. I never use spikes. I don't want to until I absolutely have to. Just like I don't want to get an electric bike until I absolutely have to. This will probably be my last filming for a while on this, because I got to make some time here, and I'm just going to run. And I've been screwing around with the camera too much, which I'll mention that. I never bring my camera on these hikes. I don't bring my camera out into nature. It feels wrong. It feels wrong for me to be talking right now, except, hey, today I'll do it. But normally, 98% of the time, I don't want my camera with me. And I bring these women out hiking and stuff, and they take pictures of every little piece of rock and every little pine cone and every little selfie. And we've gone insane with these phones, you know, but I just wanted to share this one time, what I do as a homeless, you know, ex-YouTube star living in my car right now. I just hike every day. So
I don't bring my camera. That's why I wasn't able to make a career. And then the people are like, well, I like the old Dan when I used to schlep this thing around before it got all to where your whole life was just a camera and we weren't even living anymore. And I just wanted to live, and I'm looking for a partner or partners or friends that want to live. And I, have a couple, but I am extremely vigorous when it comes to hiking and biking and everything, dude, And so, I'm always slowed down by everyone. So that's another secret. I just don't bring my phone, because out here, it's the silence of God and nature is where you heal. But I'm bringing you with me today, and so far the vibe has been good. I've brought the camera before. I regret it. I think, oh God, this is ridiculous. And then anyway, so I don't mean to be negative because I don't want to have an aversion to anything. It's just a natural, spontaneous response of not wanting to bring my camera out into nature. Can you understand me? These things are insane. Look at what's happening to everybody. I can barely go on social media. It feels very toxic. In fact, even the people around me, their demons are always popping up. Look, I got my own demons too, man. But I take responsibility for them, and I try not to push that out onto others and do any projecting. I'm like trying to get myself right, So I pray like fire. Only God's grace is going to help me get through this, because the ego's will has not been enough to help me to heal the childhood wounds. Someone's old Christmas tree. So I just wanted everyone to know that. You'll probably be like, Dan, just bring your camera, because I do some epic stuff, dude. And I'm like every day stoked out of my mind, dude. Stoked. I've seen some amazing stuff, because about every other day I go hiking, and then I switch to biking. And then I try to do some upper body stuff. I'm going to do some push-ups and some yoga out here and some meditation. I might not have much time though, to be honest with you, but this is just me getting all the stuff off my chest for now, because I'm going to have to just pump it and pump it unless I see something dope like a bear, one of these coyotes, or some kind of amazing magical view or something like that. Then I'll pop in here. So it's just the camera thing. 99% of the time I do not bring it. 98. Although there were these falls the other day, and I thought I at least could have took a picture. I just don't want the camera in my face talking when nature's so amazing, when I use this my time to recharge from a world gone mad. Then I go back to the world, and there's just, there's no bad vibes out here. And when you're with yourself, you can just love yourself. You don't have to be around the people that are like, mad dogging you and stuff. And then your career's on social media and everyone seems to be just mad as hell because the psyops are perpetual and unending. And I don't care what the government does, and I don't even care if the world ends. So how about that? If the world ends, I'll be out here hiking or out on my bike. You know what I'm saying? But the world's not going to end. I don't know what's wrong with everyone's colon, the microbes in their gut. The world's going to end. The world's going to end. Oh my God. The politicians and all this crap and the globalists, but it's not going to happen, dude. The power of God is infinitely more powerful, and the powerful of love just smashes all these people that are living in fear. So I just live in love as much as I can, and that's it. So the phone thing, now you know, okay? I don't bring my phone. I borrowed the selfie stick from my daughter. It's not that great. I thought if I do this, I'm going to get a really good selfie stick that isn't wonky junky. It's working fine for today, and it's got a little tripod thing, so it's functional, but I need something lighter and more sturdy. So anyhow, there's the phone thing. I don't mean to have an aversion, but that's just the story of the truth. Secondarily, I'm training out here. This is a 9-mile hike to get ready for Hurricane Ridge, back in the snow a little bit, for a 22-miler. The only problem there is if it snows when I'm right in the middle. Right now it hasn't snowed yet, so I can rip through there. And the only other thing too is that because of the government shutdown, the park rangers are not there. They always cock block me, man, every time. I'm not afraid. They're afraid. I'm like, if I die out here, that's on me. You don't have to be afraid to go hiking. You can get cold and wet. You just got to keep moving. I can go 22 miles without any food or water. I have no food or water with me today for 9 miles. There should be some streams to drink out of, I hope. If not, I go 10 miles in the 120-degree heat without any water. I can surely make it out here where it's freezing. You know what I mean? And I'm not sweating that much. So anyhow, I just wanted to get a few things off my chest and let you know. And now it's time to make some time here, okay? Thanks for joining me on this adventure. You know, I could do more. It's just that it's so nice to be digital detox unplugged in a world gone mad. And out here, this is sanity, man. This is sanity. I wouldn't say I'm the most sane thing in the world out here, but you gotta be a fucking badass like me, because I'm so cool.
We up here now.
Okay, so I'm gonna show the real stuff. I'm coming to the end of it, so, but I was like, to show what's real. Meaning that, it's not the elevation so much, just that when you do vigorous, well, this is the peak. I mean, I'm up here, but I just wanted to be vulnerable, which I hate because I'm a man. But these bobcat tracks, basically there I had to just take a break because my heart, it's still happening. It's just blood sludge. Too many avocados, you know? But it's good because that's what I'm running on. But I went through a very difficult part in the snow where I would step forward and slide back halfway, and it was uphill. I think I'm at the peak. Well, maybe not. This is epic. This is what makes it worth it, but I wanted to share the hard part where my heart, and I wouldn't say lightheaded, but just to where it was thumping. Now, if I wasn't an experienced athlete, I would be, you know, most people would be afraid, you know, because it's, your heart's like thumping through the sludge. It's coming to the end and it will pass in a few moments. And then I'll be burning off the fat and the carbs that are pumping through my blood right now to keep me warm, keep me moving. So anyhow, I'm still going through it, but I wanted to share kind of the real stuff. And then this will pass and I'll get a second wind. I think I'm coming towards the end, but I don't see the lake that is at the end. So anyhow, that's the real. So there's the first sighting of the lake. And I guess this is the end. Obviously, to get down to the lake, it's gonna be a little bit of a hike. I'm about an hour and a half in. They said 5.5 to 6 hours round trip, but I do tend to move quite a bit faster than most hikers. So it'll probably be 2 hours one way by the time I get down there. And I don't think I'll go for a swim just because the temperature has dropped precipitously. I've got no towels, no food. But I will take a drink from the lake because I am quite, I wouldn't say thirsty, but I just think it's good to stay hydrated. Anyways, that's the final destination, is the lake. Yeah, the temperature has dropped precipitously in this wind chill factor. I had to put my clothes back on. This is definitely one of the most difficult parts of the trail. It's a very steep hill, and the snow is very slippery. It's actually getting into my boots, so that kind of sucks. I'll have wet feet on the way back, but I would say this has definitely been the most challenging part of the hike technically, because I'm just slipping down this hill. Everything's been kind of a cakewalk until now. Yeah, now I'm getting massive amounts of snow in my boots. That's all right. Anyhow, I think most of the filming will have been done on the way here, and then I can just burn it on the way back. Cool. Getting closer to the lake. Well, actually, it's a lot longer of a hike than it looked. I'm only halfway there, but anyways, I'm having the time of my life. I will tell you that right now. This has been one of the coolest hikes I've ever done in my life. Those are bear tracks. Now, they're not fresh or anything, so that's kind of good. And then he's knocked that out the way and then kept on trudging up that hill. So, but yeah, they are not fresh at all. So that's a good sign for me. Here we are at the lake. That was just one of the most epic hikes of my life. You're alive, I know you are. Just saw him walking. This lake is frozen here. 100%. And this is it. This is the end of the hike. That was Johnson Ridge Trail. 4.5 miles. Wow. Yeah. So that's the end of the Johnson Ridge Trail. This is epic. I love to build a house right over here. It took about 2 hours. I did locate quite a few bear tracks here. But that was really one of the coolest hikes I've ever done. I usually don't do much vlogging on the hikes, but this was a really good one to choose to do that. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Life Regenerator Show, if you will. Just Dan McDonald now, but thanks everyone. I did my best out here to make a good vlog. And actually that last part coming up out of that hill, that was the hardest part, the most technical. And so the rest of this should be fairly easy. I should be able to complete it also in a couple hours, maybe a little less since it's going to be downhill. And I just wanted to say thanks. I'm going to just stop vlogging and just walk and take some time to just be silent and really appreciate the nature here. So I'm gonna, if I see anything absolutely spectacular that I missed on the way here, then I'll snag that and throw that in at the end. But let's call that a good one. And, you know, you could probably twist my arm and get me to do more. It's endless. It's endless. And this is just a beautiful moment because as I head up to this ridge, it's probably going to get that wind again, freezing cold. It's a nice warm little spot right here in the sun. And I really appreciate you. So have a great day, everyone. Stay healthy, stay strong. You know, the part that's the lesson is that with the people, they stop when they get the blood sludge in the heart, when the body starts detoxing and the lymph from all the unburnt food, and you start pumping up these hills. People stop on the bike, they stop on the running, they stop on the hiking. And just now, I'll get my second wind now. You know, I cleared through all that, and now I'm just at a second wind, you know? And so now I feel reinvigorated, especially after a drink from the lake. So if you have to, and you're exercising, and you get to that wall, and all the sludge is coming through, just give yourself a little time. I kept going, but, you know, you can stop. Let your heart catch up. It'll filter. You know, your liver needs a little break. Your kidneys are working. Your blood is working. Your lymphatic system is moving. And you've just got a stack of stuff in the blood that needs to be processed through, you know? And that's why you don't want to give up and you want to keep going. And you learn that as an athlete, but too many people give up too soon. You got more in you than you think. This was, you know, this was supposed to be extremely difficult. I found it to be, you know, moderately difficult, to be honest with you. Of course, I'm only halfway. So I'll let you know, I'll do another recap at the bottom when I get back to the car. I'm going to go for a swim, take a bath at Beckler Creek, get some more to drink, and then I got some other stuff to do today. So God bless you all. Just take a moment and feel the real deal while I come out here. Just share with me a brief moment of what it's really like.